same old question. Is there anything more? A flea market concession. I'll never be a star. We've all got dreams, we've all got hopes, no matter who we are. Making good at what we do, no matter how hard. Now come back, good times, where the best is yet to be. Right here, right now, it's the best it's gonna be. Right here, right now, it's the best it's gonna be.
Just think, 9 o'clock in the morning, 100 dealers all paid up. What a life. I think I'll go back to bed.
Brodsky, can I talk to you for a minute?
Well, make it fast, Bernstein. I'm a busy man.
What do you mean busy? You said you were going back to bed.
Hey, what do you need, your beauty sleep?
A beauty sleep won't help Brodsky. He needs a coma.
All right, let's cut with the jokes. We ain't exactly got no raving beauties around here, except maybe for Diane. And she ain't talking.
I'm sorry, Mr. Brodsky. I'm not very good at making fun of what people look like.
I wasn't either. And then I met Brodsky.
I don't know why I put up with this.
You put up with it because you're getting rich off us.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Brodsky, can I talk to you now?
Well, hurry up, Bernstein. I'm a busy man.
Why do you always say that?
Because my father always said that to me every time I asked him a question.
You mean he was that busy?
I don't know. I never had a chance to ask him.
How come?
He was always sleeping.
What's a four-letter word that starts with P? Nobody knows, huh?
Isn't there another question that goes with it, Clive?
I just asked it. What's a four-letter word that starts with P?
Look, genius. Every crossword puzzle has a question that goes with it. Not just what's a four-letter word that starts with P. There's got to be another question, like name a famous actor who played the starring role in the movie Cool Hand Luke. See, the word has four spaces, it starts with P, so the answer would be Paul.
Gee, thanks, Mr. Brodsky.
I hope you're not doing what I think you're doing.
I'm writing your answer down. And you know what?
What?
It fits.
Of course it fits, you dummy. Any four-letter word would fit if you don't know the question. Pail would fit. Plan would fit. Putz would fit even better.
Spelled putz.
Unbelievable. This guy's a walking jello. Now, Clive, would you please tell me what the question is?
Spell putz.
Not that question, the question in the book.
I don't know. I crossed it out.
He crossed it out.
It makes it too easy if you know the question.
I don't know why I put up with this.
Because you're getting rich off us.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Brodsky, will you stop for a second and listen to me? You said you were going to advertise my bananas this week. I bought 800 pounds. 800 pounds of bananas, and you didn't even advertise.
I forgot.
How could you forget? You promised.
I just forgot, that's all. Bananas ain't exactly my top priority. I don't get up in the morning thinking about bananas. I don't go to bed at night dreaming about bananas.
Yeah, well, I do.
That's the trouble with you, Bernstein. Your thinking is too narrow. Why don't you try thinking about something else?
Like what?
Like maybe melons. That's it. Start thinking about melons. Speaking of melons, what are you doing tonight, Diane?
I'm fertilizing my plants tonight, Mr. Brodsky.
Oh, I'd give my right arm to be a petunia.
Look, Brodsky, you still haven't told me what I'm going to do with 800 pounds of bananas.
Are they kosher?
Well, I don't know.
Well, if they ain't kosher...
All right, they're kosher. They're kosher bananas. Now what am I supposed to do with them?
How do I know what to do with kosher bananas? Raise the price. Hello? Now, this is Brodsky. From who? Yeah, sure. Hi, Ma. How you doing? I'm doing fine, Ma. Did you get the letters? Good. You where? At the airport? In an hour? Yeah, sure, Ma. Sure. It'll be a pleasure to see you.
That your mother on the phone?
Yeah, it's my mother.
It's nice she's finally coming to visit us here at the market.
Yeah, when my mother calls, it's usually to tell me how well my brother's doing. You got a brother, Brodsky?
Yeah, but he's been a while for the last 10 years. He's in the mission in San Francisco.
With the swallows?
Not that mission, you dummy. This is a joint for derelicts. My mother doesn't know he's there. She thinks he's studying to become a monk. The only thing he's studying is the alcoholic content at the bottom of a bottle. He never contacts her, so I take up the slack. I write my mother a lot of letters. Tell her I'm doing all right. Involved in real estate. Made her feel real happy. That was the first letter. Then she started to get sick. So I thought she could use a little cheering up. So with the little involvement in real estate I got in this joint, I told her I was becoming quite a big deal. Really made her happy. I could tell she was getting better by just reading my letters. So I started stretching the truth a little bit and told her this place is much more than it really is.
How much more?
I told her this is the biggest shopping mall between New York and Denver.
No kidding. My God. I'm going to write my mother and tell her that. She's got arthritis. She may get up out of her wheelchair and run again. In a marathon.
Didn't you think your mother would ever find out?
All I knew was my mother was sick and my letters were making her feel better. I never thought she'd leave Florida to come here. Hell, she didn't leave Florida to come to my own wedding. And again, no one else showed either. Not even the bride. Oh, God, what am I going to do?
There's only one thing to do.
What's that?
Kill yourself.
You gotta tell her the truth.
Gee, she'll see the truth when she gets here. She'll see this ain't no shopping mall. Just a rundown old flea market.
Why didn't you say so in the first place? Here I am writing this letter. What if my mother came to visit?
I know what I'll do. I'll tell her we had a fire. That's it, a fire. Gutted the whole place. $10 million worth of interior decorations down the drain. Oh, yeah, you're right. It's too commonplace. I got it. Ants.
Ants?
Yeah, ants. My mother doesn't know this area. I'll tell her the ants around here are as big as dogs. They don't need everything, just the expensive stuff. And they leave the junk. It's perfect.
She'll never believe it.
Ah, you're right. Ants ain't that picky. I know. A national depression. That's perfect. A real panic. People selling apples in the street or kosher bananas at flea markets. My mother doesn't know the difference. She never goes outside. She never watches TV. That's all she does is crochet. I got 248 sweaters that don't fit. When she comes here, I'll give her some free yarn. Tell her it's too expensive to buy.
But I sold some yesterday and no one complained.
Look, Clive, you ain't playing with a full deck, and I don't want nothing to go wrong with my mother coming today. I know you already paid, so I'm going to give you your money back.
Well, gee, Mr. Brodsky, that wouldn't be fair.
You're right. You've already been here an hour. I'll give you half your money back.
Why, you cheat.
You're right. You're right. Very, very inconsiderate. If you leave for today, I'll give you double your money back.
I've just got one question.
Anything.
Is this deal by the week or by the month?
Just for today, jerko. Just until my mother goes back to Florida.
You know, Brodsky, you better forget about Clive and figure out a way to get yourself out of this mess without involving us.
Yeah, I guess you're right, Bernstein. This is one thing I've got to get myself out of by myself. God, I wish my brother were coming instead. Just give him a bottle of wine and he'd believe that ant story. Uncle Harry, you should have called and warned me that my mother was coming. What? Hey, Uncle Harry, you talk to me that way, and I'll tell that Lillian about you and Ida Gabinski. Don't worry, I know plenty.
pardon me. Is this 1641 Seymour Drive?
Yes, it is.
Oh, dear. I must have the wrong city.
Oh, you must be...
Lost.
I thought you might be Mrs. Brodsky.
Oh, but I am Mrs. Brodsky. Do you know my son?
I sure do. He's right in his office. Why don't you wait here and I'll go get him?
Oh, don't bother. I'd rather surprise him.
What a bump! Mom!
Leslie!
Leslie?
Mom, people around here call me Mr. Brodsky.
Not anymore. Leslie.
What's wrong with the name Leslie?
Nothing, Ma. It's a great name. Are you happy?
I'm happy, but are you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy, and you guys wonder why my brother drinks? How was the airplane, Ma?
Must have been good. It didn't crash.
No, I mean, is the trip comfortable?
The music was too loud. The movie was dirty. And they sat me right next to a cigar smoker. It was like the time I stayed in your apartment, only here the toilet was working.
Well, I got the toilet fixed, Ma.
You mean I don't gotta use the plunger no more?
Ma, there are a few things I gotta explain to you.
You mean you still gotta use the plunger?
Ma, forget about the toilet. Now, about this place. You see, a terrible thing happened. Do you remember the story of Noah's Ark?
Don't do it.
All right, but it was a much better story than the ants. Ma, I'd like to introduce you to a few people. This is Clyde.
Oh, he's the one who sells the yarn.
Yeah.
Not today. It's too expensive.
We're not doing that story, you moron.
Well, I wish you'd make up your mind. It's hard to keep track of which catastrophe we're on.
There are no more catastrophes. We're playing this thing straight.
So you like the yarn?
Forget the yarn.
Does that mean I still gotta leave?
Well, Leslie, your closing already.
He's real funny, isn't he, Ma? You still got 4 hours left, Clyde. Your watch must be fast.
Well, time just flies when you're having all these catastrophes.
What catastrophes?
Well, first there was a fire, and then there were these ants.
Ma, there's a few things I'd like to explain to you about those letters.
And you must be Shirley. Leslie has told me all about you.
He has?
Oh, yes. I'm terribly sorry I missed the wedding. I was very sick at the time.
But, Mrs. Brodsky...
Anyway, I'm glad to see my Leslie had the good sense to pick a girl as pretty as you.
Ma, you don't understand.
You're a very lucky girl, Shirley. Not every girl can catch a fella like my Leslie.
Mrs.
Just
Brodsky,
call me Mother.
I can't call you Mother.
Why not?
Well, because I'm not...
Leslie, she don't like me.
Ma, will you quit crying? That ain't Shirley.
Oh. I'm sorry. So who are you then? Don't tell me you're Leslie's mistress, I hope.
She hopes so too.
I'm Diane. Mr. Brodsky, I mean Leslie, he and I are just good friends.
It could be better.
Then where's Shirley?
Ma, there's something I gotta explain. You see, now don't take this too hard, but Shirley and I never got married. I just didn't have the heart to tell you.
He didn't want to return the wedding gift.
What happened?
Well, we just didn't see eye to eye. She don't want no romance. She don't want no premarital sex. She don't want no postmarital sex. Nothing. She wouldn't even let me touch her. I even tried a 10-foot pole. I thought she was kidding. Ma, I'm a warm-blooded guy, and what I needed was a red-hot tamale, and what I got was a cold-blooded chihuahua.
Where's Shirley now?
She's dancing topless over at the Gay Paree. I saw her there last week with a guy, and he had on the gold chains and the Panama hat. Must have been her brother.
Hello, Mrs. Brodsky. I'm Rosemary, but you can call me Rosie. Unless you want to call me Mama Rosa.
What an interesting little restaurant.
I sell spaghetti with garlic, rigatoni with garlic, and a hot meatball sandwich with...
Garlic?
No, cheese. Too much garlic will kill you.
And I sell antacid tablets over in my office. 2 for $1. I'm making a fortune.
Oh, and you have produce. Nice, healthy fruits and vegetables. At least I know you're eating well, Leslie.
Your son doesn't buy my produce, Mrs. Brodsky. Though he stole a tomato once to throw at a building inspector.
Ma, would you please sit down and listen to me? There's a few things I still got to explain.
About the toilet, don't worry. I brought my own plunger.
Ma, will you forget about the toilet?
Every apartment should have one.
I have one.
That works.
Ma, you're driving me crazy. Who's got a stiff drink around here?
Your brother in San Francisco.
Speaking of your brother, I may pay him a visit next.
Oh, don't do it, Ma. 2 disappointments in a row could kill you.
Disappointments?
Ma, now about this place, I know it's not what you thought it would be.
No, it's not.
I know it. Oh, the shame of being a failure in your mother's eyes. Now I know what you're going through. Now I know what you're all going through.
Can I say something? Can I say something about my family? Good. Now, my mother used to sell snake oil and claimed that it stopped cancer and hemorrhoids at the same time. Now, she supported 12 kids with this stuff. Then one day, this federal guy started to investigate my mother. So he bought a bottle.
Did it cure his hemorrhoids?
No, it killed him. My mother spent 11 years in Leavenworth.
That's terrible.
No, she made a fortune. There's a lot of hemorrhoids in prison. So anyway, my mother thinks I'm a great success because I'm independent and I have my own hours. And best of all, I'm legal.
No kidding. Your mother really proud of you?
She thinks this flea market is the greatest thing that ever happened to me.
Look, Mrs. Brodsky, let's quit beating around the bush. I think it's time we came to your son's rescue.
Rescue? Is my son in trouble? Stealing dirty magazines again?
Ma, I was 12 years old when I stole those magazines. The guy was selling me. I had no choice.
Look, Mrs. Brodsky, I don't know what your son told you in those letters.
It was ants, Ma.
Or whatever was in those letters. What you see here is the truth.
Oh, God, Ma, don't hate me.
This is all your son owns. What he calls a little old flea market.
I fixed the toilet, Ma, just for you. Please forgive me.
But before you come to any conclusions, just listen to what this place means to us. I mean, you've already heard from Clyde. He feels he's a great success.
He has nice yarn.
54 colors.
I could knit more sweaters.
For me, Ma?
Of course for you.
You mean after seeing all of this and learning the truth, you'd still knit me a sweater?
Of course, Leslie. What size are you now?
Any size, Ma. I'll make it fit.
And look at Diane.
I was divorced last year. I didn't have anybody, and I didn't know what to do. My husband wouldn't let me work, so all I could do at home was grow plants. I always liked it, seeing and helping things grow. Your son told me I should set up a stand and try to make a living doing what I always would have done for free.
You're a very sweet girl. And I don't mind saying, I wouldn't mind if you were my son's mistress.
But
Don't disappoint the old lady. Do you want her to get sick again?
And Rosie here. She worked in a restaurant all her life. Your son lent her the money to get started.
Without interest.
Charge me points!
That ain't interest.
So you see, Mrs. Brodsky, it might not look like much to you, but this flea market is free enterprise at its very best. It's America and all it stands for. The little guy making good. And without your son, none of us would have had the chance.
Mr. Brodsky, you're crying.
I ain't crying. It's Bernstein's onions. I told you not to put onions out when I'm around.
I sold out of onions an hour ago.
Oh, Ma, come on. I'll take you to my apartment.
Not yet, Leslie.
Come on, I'll show you the new toilet.
I just want to say something.
Don't disown me, Ma.
Disown you? Disown you? Leslie, you've made me the proudest mother in the world. I love every inch of this place. It reminds me of years ago when shopping was interesting. I'm coming back tomorrow and I'm going to buy every bit of that man's yarn.
54 colors.
There's only one thing I regret.
What's that, Ma?
That your father isn't here to see this with me. He'd be very proud of you, Leslie.
You think so, Ma?
I know so.
Thanks a lot, Bernstein. I don't know how to repay you.
How about taking some of these bananas off my hands?
I'm sorry, Bernstein. I can't afford kosher bananas.